Gem Team, the secure chat platform for companies that people actually enjoy using. Teams don't just use chat anymore, they run their day inside it. Planning, approvals, deliverables, ad hoc decisions, client updates, quick check-ins, even retrospectives all stream through one surface. In that reality, the right tool is not the one with the most knobs, it's the one that lets people move fast while giving your organization provable security and governance. Gem Team was designed for that balance, a calm, familiar workspace with protection and evidence built in. If you're standardizing on a secure chat platform for companies, the question isn't, can it send messages? It's, will people adopt it without creating risk? Gem Team's answer is yes. Security that behaves like a product feature, not a speed bump. Security only works if people keep it on. Gem Team treats protection as part of the everyday experience rather than a bolt-on. Sensitive discussions can live in private spaces with optional end-to-end controls. All transport is encrypted, sessions are hardened by default. Identity goes beyond passwords with MFA-secured chat login and SSO flows, so sign-in is familiar for users and enforceable for admins. When your policies require strict verification, conditional access and device checks add context without adding friction. The result feels like a zero-trust team messenger. Every request is verified, every path is least privileged, and none of that gets in people's way. Compliance isn't a parallel system either. Retention, legal hold, and defensible deletion live in the same place people actually work. Instead of remember to export that thread, admins define data retention policies for chat once. The platform quietly enforces them across spaces, files, and calls. When counsel needs a freeze, legal hold messaging preserves relevant material immutably without derailing a project. Evidence by design, governance you can actually show. Auditors and procurement care about proof. Gem Team keeps a complete activity record and gives you business messaging with audit trail that's human readable and machine parsable. You can reconstruct who did what, when, and in what context, messages, files, channel changes, policy hits, and more, without assembling screenshots. Admin rules are clear, delegated where sensible, and logged when used. Because these controls are native, they don't depend on external scripts or manual exports to be credible. Regional and contractual constraints are equally real. When regulation or client promise requires data boundaries, regional data hosting for chat keeps information in jurisdictions you choose. If vendor risk policies demand maximum control, Gem Team supports on-premises chat solution and private cloud chat deployment options that keep the same UX and security model while fitting your infrastructure. Day-to-day experience, less noise, more signal. Adoption hinges on clarity. Threads in Gem Team keep context tidy, so long conversations stay readable weeks later. Quick edits fix typos without spawning new pings. Presence and intelligent search help you find the right person, the right room, or the exact message, even across projects, so you don't burn minutes scrolling. The point is simple: fewer detours equals faster outcomes. Work stays in the same surface. Teams share docs with encrypted file sharing for teams, then jump into secure video conferencing for teams to review and decide. Recordings and notes land back in the thread and inherit the same permissions. Because you're not juggling 3 tools with 3 policy surfaces, governance applies end-to-end. Where recordings are sensitive, governed meeting recordings ensure access follows policy automatically. No mystery links in someone's downloads folder. Identity and access that fit how you already work. Your directory is the source of truth, so Gem Team integrates cleanly. SSO-enabled Team Chat supports Okta and Azure AD integration, with SCIM user provisioning for chat to keep lifecycle accurate. Joiners get the right spaces on day 1. Movers lose what they should and gain what they need. Leavers are removed fast everywhere. At the channel level, policy-based channel permissions and role-based chat access give owners the tools to configure their workspace without opening doors too wide. Where risk is higher, DLP-enabled team chat can apply sharing guardrails that prevent mistakes before they travel. Deployment choices without feature penalties. Different organizations have different constraints. Some prefer managed SaaS with regional pinning. Others need private cloud chat deployment for tighter control of keys and network surface. Heavily regulated teams may require an on-premises chat solution that sits inside a hardened environment. GEM teams' deployment models share the same user experience, policy framework, and admin tooling, so IT doesn't end up supporting 3 different products to satisfy one policy. Practical AI that reduces scroll, not judgment. AI should shorten the path from "what is this about" to "what's next" and then get out of the way. In GEM team, long threads can be summarized on demand. Action items and mentions are surfaced so nothing critical sinks. Multilingual groups can rely on instant translation that respects privacy settings. None of this replaces human review. It simply lightens the load, especially across time zones and busy phases of a launch. Interop and ecosystem. Bring context to where the conversation is. GEM team ties into calendars, CRMs, ticketing systems, and document repositories so you can pull context into the thread and push decisions back to source systems. That reduces tab hopping and the copy-paste mistakes that come with it. For voice and quick async, encrypted voice messages for business keep sensitive audio in policy-governed storage rather than someone's phone gallery. The net effect is a compliance-friendly collaboration tool that feels like one place to work, not 5 places to monitor. Migration without chaos. Moving a company's communications is a change management exercise as much as a technical one. GEM team smooths the path with importers for channels, members, and archives from legacy tools, role mappings that mirror your current setup, and coaching materials that focus on "how do I do X here" rather than "here's a 200-page manual." Because the UI is intentionally familiar, ramp-up is measured in days, not quarters, and admins don't have to construct a maze of custom scripts just to get to parity. Reliability that doesn't surprise you. Communication is a production system. GEM team's architecture prioritizes durability and low latency so messages arrive, calls connect, and search stays fast even during peak times. If a connection blips, messages queue and deliver. If a device drops, the thread is still there on the next one. The boring parts, the parts you notice only when they fail, are the parts we obsess over. Security deep dive without the marketing fog. Transport is encrypted by default with mutual authentication to stop imposters at the gate. At rest, data is encrypted with strong, rotated keys. Access to keys is tightly segmented and audited. Optional private spaces support additional protections so high-risk discussions can be walled off even from admins. Event logging covers message and file actions, permission changes, and administrative operations. And audit-ready communication logs allow selective, policy-constrained exports for investigations. DLP rules can flag or block patterns, secrets, card numbers, regulated identifiers, so oops moments don't propagate outside the room. The philosophy is straightforward. Prevent what you can, detect what you miss, and keep evidence for what you must prove. Compliance support that mirrors how reviews actually work. You may need GDPR accountability records, HIPAA safeguards, banking-grade change traces, or assurance for vendor risk teams. GEM team is designed to support those workflows. GDPR-compliant team chat features for data subject requests and minimization. HIPAA-ready team messaging patterns for access segmentation and audit. Artifacts that slot into SOC 2 and ISO reviews without a scavenger hunt. We won't promise your certification, that's your program, but the platform gives you the hooks and proof you need. Real-world stories, less thrash, clearer decisions, stronger control. A product startup moved from scattered DMs and email loops to project-based rooms. Reviews happened where files lived, decisions were captured alongside the conversation, and launch weeks stopped feeling chaotic. A banking unit segmented client work into permissioned spaces, set retention once, and cruised through an external review by exporting business messaging with audit trail instead of screenshot collages. A healthcare group ran clinical handoffs in tightly scoped rooms, applied data retention policies for chat that matched regulations, and relied on legal hold messaging during an investigation without freezing an entire team. A creative studio kept mood boards, mock-ups, and approvals together under encryptive file sharing for teams, protected client IP, and gave account leads a clean history for every deliverable. Different sectors, same outcome. How to evaluate calmly and pick once. Start with what you can't compromise: identity, evidence, and data boundaries. If a platform can't do SSO-enabled team chat, can't produce audit-ready communication logs, or can't offer regional data hosting for chat, you'll end up building workarounds that create new risks. Next, examine daily experience honestly. Threads, edits, search, and calls should reduce cognitive load, not add steps. Finally, look at the link points. Calendars, CRMs, storage, and identity should remove hops and copy-paste, not just add another logo to a page. A tool that clears those bars and wraps them in enterprise messaging with compliance controls is the tool your people will keep using when the quarter gets hectic. Frequently asked questions, short and useful. Will smaller teams outgrow it? No, you can start small without painting yourself into a corner. The same architecture scales cleanly to thousands of users, so you avoid a platform switch mid-growth. Can we run it under our identity and MFA? Yes. SSO-enabled Team Chat integrates with your IDP, and MFA-secured chat login meets strong auth requirements without training people to juggle new accounts. Does it replace our meeting tool? For many use cases. Secure video conferencing for Teams and governed meeting recordings keep reviews and decisions on the same governed surface as messages and files. How does it help with audits? By design. Business messaging with audit trail, predictable retention, and clear activity traces let you answer who, what, when without ad hoc digging. Can we keep data in a particular region or our own cloud? Yes. Use regional data hosting for chat in SaaS, choose private cloud chat deployment for tighter control, or run an on-premises chat solution when policy requires it.